Yeah.
I can waffle, mate, I did tell you.
That's fine. It's... It's the greatest toy ever that we bought for Martin. It keeps him calm. It makes his job a bit easier when he does his own.
Oh yes, it makes so much easier.
I mean, we started off when we started doing the podcast where I was doing the audio editing when we were audio first, and then for the first few episodes of the video I did it. But Martin's got a big. He videotapes every episode, every training session, doesn't he? So it was like, you know what, let him do that because he's enjoying that. So.
Yes.
But then all of a sudden,
like a hobby.
but then all of a sudden I just start putting demands on him, going, I want it like this, I want it like this. And it's like I'm turning it into a job for him that he's getting paid for. So I think the next one that I wanted to talk about was building a club, actually running a club, because you'll probably find a lot of people who start jiu-jitsu at some point when they've gone through, as they're getting promoted and they're learning and they're getting better at jiu-jitsu, will at some point think, I could run my own club. And it's like, I just want to know what the background was of you, because you've been running this place for 10 years now, haven't you? So
It's like I said, it opened up about 10 years ago. When I was a purple belt when he opened up. To be fair, the way that I'd done it, every bit of it's wrong. Like, I'm really looking at it. I'm not ashamed. For one, I certainly want the best guy around. I was a purple belt, black belts on my doorstep, like big clubs, you know, so that was one reason, why. Second, so there wasn't a need for another jiu-jitsu club. There really wasn't. One like people going, you know, I went somewhere where people going, oh, buzzing, finally there's a jiu-jitsu club on our doorstep. Yeah. We're surrounded with Manchester's a great place for jiu-jitsu and MMA, stuff like that. And they didn't have the best facilities either. In fact, I shared a picture of me very first, I looked upstairs, it was just horrendous. There was a big old boxing ring in there. It was painted like red, job that had been done 20 years ago, so it was all peeling everywhere, falling to bits, the mats were disgusting. But
we'll get Martin to put a picture up on there.
I'll send you all these, it was but I just thought, I've trained at a lot of different clubs, and I'm from a good lineage. Andy Aspinall's kind of, you know, obviously Tom Aspinall's dad, that's always like, having a strong lineage is a good thing. And I just thought I can do it a little bit differently to how a lot of other clubs are. I feel like the culture, once so much I was better, it's not that I'm better by any stretch, but I just felt this club's a bit too formal, this club's got a bit maybe public schoolboy, like kind of laughter type of, you know, there's just, which isn't, listen, it is how they are. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it. This team's a bit more like MMA, and like, everyone's full of bullet holes, you know. It's just like this thing where I'd like to train at my own thing and set my own kind of environment, and I was lucky that a couple of good guys come through early. But I'd say for about the first maybe 3 years, I had about 7 members maybe. And I remember one time when I went home to my missus and literally said, oh, we're done. You know, I'm going to close the club. It's not working anymore. Get my work boots back out and I'll just go back to work. Because I got quite a big chunk of people, about 8 people that were all friends that trained there. And when you've only got like 5 members and that happens, you think, get it. You know, it's actually, we still weren't earning money, but it was just like, right, I can see the progression. And then they all literally left together into another gym. Nothing happened, there was no fallouts, it was just, there was better gyms around, it's the top and bottom of it. Bigger timetables, more training partners, it's just, it is what it is.
And you were still learning as well.
Exactly, I was a purple belt, looking around the corner, there's a black belt there, what we doing? You know, they just left in mass. And that was an hard one, like to take a little bit. I went back to the research, went, nah, done with this. You know, it's just, we're never going to be able to make it, blah, blah. And then she's literally taught me, and she went, no chance, you're not going back to work. You hated it. I was working away all the time. Absolutely hated it. She went, we're digging now, we'll get by. You know, whatever. And Carlo owns this place, was dead fair with me. At the start, he didn't like charge me kind of rent. He just said, pay me, say, 10% or whatever, you get paid. You know, so he was really fair with me. So that helped me be able to stay in the game for quite a bit longer. But obviously, personally, you've got personal bills, you've got things you want to do. You know, we didn't go on any holidays, we didn't do anything for a good few years. But it just, our kind of culture and the way that we train and stuff like that, just it grew. You know, with no good venue, nothing in here is fantastic by any stretch. It just began to naturally grow, and the people that were coming were staying. I think that's been a big separator from me in a lot of clubs. It got to a point where it's like, okay, people talk about the the turnover rate in jiu-jitsu, like out of every 10 that come, 1 will stay. I was like, in here, to be honest, it's not really been like that.
No.
You know, it's most have stayed because I think you kind of know what you're getting as soon as you walk through the door, and I think you'll be a certain type of person to train here.
Yeah.
We're all very different, you know, and I think, but none of us are afraid of hard work.
Yeah.
None of us are cliquer, and of course you'll have your own little friendships, but there's not like when I walk in, this clique over there is talking about that clique over there.
Oh, right,
you know, there's not that thing going on in here. It's kind of a very good community where everyone kind of likes each other. You've got more, obviously, stronger personalities than others that kind of dominate, but we're very similar. I don't think anyone here comes in and feels belittled by anybody. You know, there's just kind of a really good environment, and I think like I said, I've been very lucky, and very good guys as well have came through the doors that kind of just constantly pushing the level up all the time. Which
everyone's helping each other, which is awesome.
That's why we've made that culture of just if you're here when you're happy and you like the majority of people on the mat, you can learn. If I don't like you and you beat me, I don't want to learn from you. I just don't like you. You know, it's just it's what it is. I don't care about what you've got to say, and that's. But when everyone likes each other, it just makes such a more positive environment for learning.
Well, there's a saying I've heard years ago, and it sums it up quite well, where you've mentioned that everyone's got different interests, everyone's personalities are different, but we've all got this one key thing, and it's the saying that's basically, it's not what you like, it's what you are like. And it's like, I'm a big nerd, I can watch Star Trek, blah blah blah. Someone else in the gym, that'll be the worst nightmare of that life. But what joins us together is that culture of what we are like in hard work, not giving in easily, not just willing to always keep pushing. That drive for improvement as well is that everyone has, and I think that's what's really obvious and prevalent in the attic. So.
In the attic, there's like a thing of all being able to laugh at each other as well. Like I said, you know, if you get swept or strangled or whatever, you going on Instagram and you're okay with it, no one's ever messed with you, take that down. You know, it's not like that. People just kind of roll with it and laugh and go, I'll get him back, you know, later. It's just always, he's really good as well, but he just seems to always be the other guy on all these highlights, and he's never like rang me and got mistake, will he take this down? And he's just like, he just takes it on his stride, you know. And
he's got such bad luck, especially when it's on. As
soon as the camera's on, he just gets something happens to him straight away. You're winning that round, I turned the camera on. Have you ended up in a twister? He was in top mount.
And then you get Lou that always seems to drag him to the centre and front, just Lou's collecting highlight reels. But it's just, so the difficulties you have are financial, but have you ever had any cultural difficulties in it? Has anyone turned up where you've actually had to go, actually you're not right here?
Oh, that's happened a good few times, and again, even going back in the day when I could afford to lose them because they wouldn't have brought the gym in the direction that I wanted to, but quite a few people, we've had people coming in there, it's generally like really low level MMA guys that think that they're in the UFC, and they do more posing with the top off for the cameras than they do training. It's just them type of guys, and they've got a real ego, real attitude, real just chip on the shoulder. I'm not saying, of course, I was an MMA guy, I'm just saying this just generally been the way that it has been in here, and you know, they'll think that they're some kind of gangster or whatever else. I've just literally, one of the best ways that I've done it when they're like that is just to go around wherever and just get rid of this guy, just smash him to bits, and just make sure he doesn't come back to go one here. And that's it, I just go around all the better lads and say, get rid of it. And that's it, and then they find that I will as well, you know, and then he'll kind of see him vibrating out the door, saying, I'll see you Monday, I'll never see you ever again. See you later, you know, don't want you here. You bring a bit of a negative energy in, it's somebody who maybe I could see purposely try to hurt somebody, or it's just not what I want here at all. So I've got rid of a few people. I kicked someone out as well, where I literally just come up to him and just said, you have to leave. And I liked him. As a lad, I really did like him. But he came in with a bit of an aggression all the time, taking his fingers, won't look up, and was just had an aggressive aura about him. And then, it might have been the space of a week, he was a big lad as well, about my size. He injured 3 people, broke someone's ribs, done something else, and it's like, and even though I really liked him, I just going, mate, you can't train anymore. And he kind of turned it on me a bit more, like, go hard. He's like, you're twice the size of him, and you're better than him. And you're injuring people. You know, we all go hard, but you're just look aggressive from the second you walk in the door. It's like you're there to hurt somebody because you've had a bad day at work or whatever else. Like, you just can't have it. Got rid of him, and you know, not fell out with him. I like him as a lad, but can't have that in my gym. Can't be 3 people tell me something's broken off one lad. Can't be everyone else's fault, can it? You gotta go. You've got to go, mate.
You can't break your toys, can you?
I'll just I just say like, out you go. You know, and it's not one of them things. That's utter bollocks in jiu-jitsu. I'm a big guy. I can look after someone a lot smaller. I can smash her, but I'll also be looking after them. I won't try to hurt them in any way. They're going to go home hurt or injured.
Yeah. you notice that I'm not tall, but I'm quite hefty as a guy.
Weightlifter guy.
Yeah. But it's that thing of it's that thing of you do have to take care of them. It's like I can roll with some people that are very tiny and appear fragile sometimes, and it's just where do you put your things, and it's just that knowledge base. And if you're not aware of it, you can come across as an absolute dick.
Yeah, you can still look, you can still smash, you can still go. Listen, sometimes I'm training for a bit of fun and a bit of you, and you know, like help you a little bit, and I'll pull down, I'll start on the bottom, I'll go, come on, move on. Other times I'm training for me, so I train a little harder, but absolutely not to the point of hurting you. You won't be saying ow. When I'm rolling you, but I will just be rolling.
You made weird noises come out of me sometimes. Played me like an accordion.
You squeal and be thinking a little bit, but nothing. I won't injure. Nothing's nasty.
You still go home happy.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Nothing will get through on. Nothing will be like tomorrow morning your next murder and you can stage like launch something on. It's everything as it gets to that point starts to get eased up. No matter what, but that's the way you should be. Other people go like, nah, it's just one of them things. You know, no bad. It's not one of them things.
Well, another thing I've noticed is when I started on your beginners course, but you don't do. I did the beginners course first, and there was quite a few people on it, and then the retention from that was abysmal.
Beginners course is terrible.
And that's one thing I've noticed. It's when you do a beginners course, and you've been doing less and less. And it just seems to be getting more walk-ins in the attic. It's like, do you find that there's a difference in them? The people that I've noticed a retention. You definitely have to notice it. But have you noticed that there's been an increase in walk-ins, and especially since you're not doing your beginners course?
The beginners course is a great little money spinner. You know, say charge people £100 or whatever you're charging, you get 20 people sign up. There you go, it's a nice drink for you. But they just, like you said, it's got to me where it's like, I can't keep doing these, and by week 3 most of them have left. And you know, I teach jiu-jitsu the way I teach jiu-jitsu might not be the best way to teach jiu-jitsu, but I believe that you should kind of get stuck in. You know, I'm not saying that I throw 10-minute rounds on straight away for a beginner, but I go, guys, let's not waste each other's time. This is jiu-jitsu. I'm not going to have you drilling here for 8 weeks and then throw you to the wolves. You're going to learn to roll and understand things and how to move and stuff like that. Other people might disagree with that, that's perfectly fine. That's the way that I do it. And when it's anything, it's an emotional game, you know, anything, you're putting your emotions into someone and you kind of, he can be good at whatever, you know, you build that little thing and then by week 3 he's disappeared and never see him ever again. Anything. That happens so many times that you start getting a little bit bored of it. But I feel like the type of people that sign up to beginners courses, not all of them obviously, but a lot of them are after that kind of quick fix, like, you know, it's kind of like, in 8 weeks I'll know this and this is just the start, mate, this is your long time ahead. It's like the people who, again, absolutely nothing wrong with it, but the people who are, in my experience, people that sign up for like white collar MMA fights, they want to do 12 weeks of training, get a picture, and they'll never walk in an MMA gym ever again. You know, it's kind of, they're not people who want to really master a martial art, the people who just want to go out, have a tear up, get a picture. As a cage fighter.
It's a red letter day. It's basically the ones that you used to buy in the supermarket, and you can go parachuting for it, or go on an air balloon. They're signing up just for a small period of time, or a small event, and that's it. It's one and done.
It's what it is, and I'm not saying it's everybody, obviously, but I'm just saying that's my experience with the majority. What you want is a martial artist who comes in and goes. That's why guys in the 30s are generally your best guys, because maybe even 40s. They know. They know where they're at in life, they know the job, the missus, the kids, everything's getting, I want that thing for me now. 10 years is going to come, and you understand that as you get older. You know, so you go, I'm going to learn it in 10 years' time, I'll be like really good at this thing. Whereas a lot of young lads, one thing changes, they're out, you don't get them back. They get a different job, they're out, they get a bird, they're out. So it's really hard to keep them type of people. It's just, like I said, your best people I keep most of the time, 30 odd year blokes who's walking and just go, I need a bit something for me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sick of
Keep you sane, keep you stable.
I'm working, the kids, the missus. I can't watch one more series on Netflix. I need to do something that's just for me. And they're the guys that you generally keep. They might not be the best guys on your mat. They might not be the 20-year-old killer that wants to be a world champion, but they're the bread and butter of most gyms.
Yeah. You don't really have to look at me when you say.
I'm just like,
it's like, not the best on the mat, not the killer.
young ones are better.
The mediocre every month I like you. but yeah, it's when you did. So the beginners course, it's the way that I give you feedback straight away, because one of my things is probably some weird autism I've got is I'm quite clear with what I speak sometimes, and I say things to people quite clearly. And I've said to you straight away that you taught, the first tech you did was a guillotine, and I said I appreciate that straight away, because you're actually just getting the wheat from the chaff of this sport is about being choked.
Yeah.
You can't understand being choked on day one. Then this is
What we're here
for
for.
you.
What we're here for. Do you want to do bridge and shrimp for an hour? You know, it's not. It's like, this is the game.
Yeah.
You can do that at home.
And it's just that thing. And I gave you feedback straight away on how that I appreciated that aspect of it.
Well, you did, and you're still here.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like I said at the beginning course, they don't. One actually said, "Can't believe you showed like guillotines on the first day."
It's like, yeah,
Why not?
it's the first one.
Why not? It's literally this is what it is. Some people like me, when I first started and I walked into a club and remember I was going over Kimuras, I can still remember the session, and then we rolled and I got smashed, as you do. And I came out like the best thing that I've ever done in my entire life. I can't believe this sport exists.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't into MMA, I didn't watch the UFC, I was a boxing fan. I actually went to the first MMA gym that I went to thinking it was a Thai boxing club because I wanted to lose a little bit of weight. And then when I was getting like ragdolled about Kimura, I thought, what's going on here? But I love this.
Yeah.
I can't believe that guy then could have broke my arm that easily.
Yeah.
So again, I'm going to attract like-minded people who think that way. I didn't win there, I can't believe that guy's put me in an arm lock. It's my first day. I'm leaving my tail between my legs. But there is a lot of people like that. And again, these are fully grown men.
Yeah.
You're thinking, really? You're going to leave because someone's practiced a guillotine on you?
Yeah.
What do you think we were doing in here?
I think the biggest mindset, if you could put it to one point, which is just a phrase that someone probably has in their head when they walk out of their first session of Jiu-Jitsu and they've had a hard, I think I walked out at it a few times, but the biggest one I felt was when I had a first roll with you after about, I think it was a month in, and I roll, and that thought was, it just as one phrase was, I need to know that.
I was exactly the same.
I need to know that. That is amazing, and I need to know it.
That's the thing, again, so I was 20, I think, when I started, maybe a little bit older, and I just thought, you do with most 20-year-olds, I thought I was pretty tough and become quite big. I thought I was pretty tough. Sorry, giving you loads of editing today. Sorry, I got like a little dry throat, sorry. And I went in and I just got mangled, as you do, off everybody. And I just thought, I can't believe I am this much of a pussy. I can't believe it. I've just been murdered off the entire map. Most of these lads are half my size. I walked in, it was loads of gorillas where you kind of expect it. It was like, I've just seen that lad there is about 9 stone piss wet through. He's took his shirt and tie off, so he's a little office boy. And he's just mangled man. What's going on? So it's like, I will literally never get in a fight ever again. Because unless I learn this, everyone can cut me up in my car. I'm just like, no worries. I'll just be petrified of everybody. Or I better learn this so I can actually learn to protect myself.
And that's it. You're from me, you're from a council estate, and it's that thing of you're just rough. And it's like I can handle myself, and it's like come in here. And I think the one that shocked me for me was little Aaron. Young guy, young kid, and he was just quiet. So quiet. And I literally rolled with him. I think it was like on my first week, and I was like, he's fairly quiet. He's not, because I was just getting my bearings with everything, and it's like, guillotine, armbar, and he just danced on me, and I was like, the hell's going on here? It's like how old are you? 14. Fuck.
I wish you would have told me that. Just lie.
The nicest, quietest kid. Just 11.
You want someone else to call me going on? He's been training since he was 10. He's a world champion, and
I didn't know what. I didn't know what a green belt was.
It's bad. It's bad. It's the most humbling thing. Again, even now, so but the amount of time I've been training, my black belt, I'm quite a big lad. I am absolutely nowhere near as confident as I was before I started Jiu-Jitsu. How mad's that? Yeah, I'm confident in different ways, but my kind of what I believe my ability is. Is very realised now. You know, like there's some fucking dangerous people about. You're not one of them. You're just like this guy that can do it.
Your level of self-awareness is really
exactly. Whereas that, I truly thought like, I can't think of anyone. Fucking idiot. What an idiot. Some stuff you got to put that away, January, but as well, you think. I think I got that into that at the right time. And I crossed someone who really did the dude. I got myself really bad.
So we touched on how you came from Andy Aspinall's place when you were a purple belt. So you've got, I think, 2 affiliates now under your name. I think is it Resilience?
Grapple Mill.
Oh, you got Grapple Mill.
Resilience, Majestic, Wigan, Kuwait.
Yeah.
Done me there for.
So that was like how that came about with these guys.
It's literally just either they're my students and then they go and open up their own club, or the one from Kuwait was they were coming over and training with us quite a bit when he was competing over here, and then I believe they had a fallout with a black belt, it might have been, and they said, look, we need an affiliate. We like training views, we like your lineage, stuff like that. Obviously the Andy Aspinall thing sells, because it's not particularly me. I said, can we affiliate with you? And I said, yeah, of course. And it's nice to see like a Henshall BJJ patch. You can't
when I saw the picture, I think you put it on a story, I went, what the hell's that doing? It's an AI or something like that. It's just
didn't think that happened.
But that's far reached, isn't it?
So. Yeah, I think in Kuwait, and you fly over, we do some seminars and stuff. I'm like, wow, in the winter. So it's like 50 degrees in Kuwait.
So for the uneducated like us, what's like involved in affiliates? Is it just you're there as a support mechanism before them?
Yeah, there's different there's proper business models of affiliates if people want to do it that way, where they'll kind of go, okay, we handle all your social medias, your websites, we'll kit out your gym, and then we take X amount back. It's nothing like that. It's literally like Josh at Grapple Mill is a brown belt. I think he might be a purple belt and he opened it. Maybe?
It was purple when he opened it.
Was it?
Yeah.
He obviously needs a head coach, for the gym to progress. So then say, he was my student anyway, but can it be an affiliate or of course. And it's always because you can pick anyone. All black belts are happy to have an affiliate. Another gym under your name it's a little ego thing and a few other bits. So it's always really nice when someone does it. Same with Ben at Majestic, and same with Sean at Resilience. I think again another thing might have been that might be think about it. That might be the guy that people grab when they've had a fallout with the black belt. Yeah, that was another one of the things that fallout with the black belt. Stay community. Yeah, of course. I don't think I'm anyone's first choice of the substitute. But either way.
Ben's definitely a favourite of ours on the podcast. He inducted us into the wrist lock dark arts, which Martin's very much embraced. But it's just it must be a good peace of mind for them as well, where they've always got that reference point where they can always go, am I doing something right here? Am I doing something wrong?
Well, I'm always there for like a few of them. We chat business, because obviously I'm experienced. I've had this place 10 years,
and it works
by making God knows how many mistakes, but you kind of get there and you work it out. And also, like recently, one of the affiliates, I'm going to give this guy this belt and whatever. And we just got into a conversation. I didn't ring him and said, don't be giving it him. I just said, listen, just have a little think on it. I know he's saying he wrecks this guy and this guy, but how young is he? How athletic is he? Can he get more out of this belt? That's the way I see the belt system. I said, if you kind of follow that, you'll rarely get it wrong. It's not about whether or not you can come in and wreck a 45-year-old dad and you're a 20-year-old ex-wrestler. Yeah. Otherwise, every other wrestler would just be getting... It's like the same. If a Muay Thai guy went to a karate school, he's probably going to kick the shit out of every black belt there. What do you do then? Do you give him a black belt in karate? Because he's better than everyone. You don't, do you?
Yeah.
It's a separate art. So, I just kind of... We had a chat about it, and I just said, here's the way I see it. If you're a 20-year-old athlete and you tell me you want to be really good, you want to be a world champion, you want to be whatever you want, you're held to a different standard now than everybody else. It means absolutely nothing. That like Ellis who trains here is a purple belt. Big Ellis, massive, mega, really, really good, really good. It's a purple. I said I want to give you a purple belt yet. He's only been training a few years, and it's nothing to do with your skill level. It's that I know you could have got more out of blue. You could have went and won like the Worlds. You could have won these massive tournaments. I'd have kept you there, I'd let you win them. And then we put you up. Same with Micah. He was competing week in, week out, beating some great guys. But he was like 4th or something in the world on grappling industries. So let's get number 1. You know, when I'd done a seminar and I didn't promote him, and maybe I don't think it was Mike is not that's by much, to be fair.
As long as he can choke somebody.
Yeah, he just don't care, full stop. But I was just kind of like, no, let's get to number 1. This is the way to do it. But to me, grappling industry is number 1 in the world. Is number 1 in the world. You hadn't just turned up to some tournament one day a year and won, and it's a hit and miss. Maybe someone great's in your category, maybe a few people can't make it. It's not really a great category. It's week in, week out point system. The second guy was like for Australia. Third guy was from America. It's real, you know, that is
consistency
like, you can see it competes every single week. There's his points. Mikey got to number 1. That makes him the best blue belt in the world, in my eyes.
Yeah.
So, okay, time to move up. Nothing else to prove now. Up you got purple. Let's do the same. I said to him, he got there pretty quick, so I said, you'll probably weigh purple for quite some time, because it's a big belt, and if you want to be like a worldly purple, like, it's leaps away from a worldly blue. It really is. World class purple belts are a totally different gravy. I'll probably handle most world class blue belts. World class purple belts, forget about it. They'll rip me to shreds. You know, and that's the difference in them two. So, but we'll see. We'll see what he wants to do.
Is that the thing of, you know, a lot of
purple belt and bottom usually. If you push it, they'll destroy you.
It's a general theme of purple belts are black belts that are unrefined.
Yeah, so that's what it is. And when you add athleticism and real drive to compete, and it's generally a harder belt because of time and life. They're generally younger, generally no kids. Does that make sense? So that's a really tough division when you're going against a 24-year-old with no kids, no wife, just does jiu-jitsu. As they get to black belt, they might lose a step or two because you've got misses now, kids. They're not as involved in that. Again, as I said before on the other talking about Ikigai, with no tangible thing for them to keep on like driving at jiu-jitsu. People fall off.
Motivation can fade over time, can't it? So, and then we're probably towards where do you think? Probably the last question that I've got on this is, where do you feel your club's going and the growth of it? Is the growth going to be bigger or more refined?
You know what? Again, it's like business plans. Like I just call them like ideas on steroids. You've got a plan. It don't really mean anything. I can say our plan is this. Anything could be thrown up, and you've got to pivot. You've got to go the other way. So I'm just going to let this, as exactly as it has done, just naturally progress. We've opened up a Thai boxing gym now downstairs. That might end up putting some kind of MMA team together. But I'm not going to push anything. Whatever happens with this club happens. I don't think I'd ever try and get a bigger space. I feel like a lot of people do this as well. They get, which again, fair play to them, but they'll kind of go, we can fit 200 bodies on our mats. And I think I've never seen a mat with 200 bodies on it, ever. Apart from a super seminar, super open mat, 15 different clubs coming together on a Wednesday evening, just your guys.
Once a year.
I've never seen 200 people on a mat, so it's wasted space. The majority of the time you'll have between 30 and maybe 70. That's a very busy gym. You know, and that's what you're going to have. So I don't see us kind of trying to get a bigger place, but again, who knows. I just see us if I can give out a load of really good belts to really good guys, not just good guys, good at jiu-jitsu, that are just good people, and they go their own way. I'm really happy with that. That's I've not got no grand ambitions for my club. I really haven't. Obviously, my kids all train. If one of them would want to take it over one day, that'd be amazing. But
just that refinement of skill then of the people doing the sport, just keeping focused on the art, aren't you?
Yeah, get better, make improvements yourself. Said this a few times on. About 5 years ago, I'd paid no attention to leg locks whatsoever. Rolled with a good leg locker, got ripped to shreds. Just went, okay, 5 years I'm good at leg locks. Now I'm certainly not I'm really good at leg locks. I still rip me to shreds, but I'm a lot better. And that's the thing that I see with me is just this continuous. I don't want to be showing anything new in 20 years. That blows my mind. I want to just continually patch everything up that I'm not very good at.
So I think on that one we'll just finish this section, have a quick break, let you get a drink.
Some water.
And we'll begin the last bit, and it's
we'll change the batteries again.
we're semi-professionals at this.